There's a game I want to talk about for a little bit, and I think it's very relevant in a lot of people's memory bank. Whether they remember the game or not, it is an incredible experience if you've played this game. And if not, I'm going to show you what the experience for the people that played it is like. I'm referring to easily the most nostalgic painkiller of a video game in my entire lifetime. Spongebob Super Sponge. This game is a nostalgia earthquake. Spongebob Super Sponge was for the PlayStation 1 and also the Game Boy Advance, and a surprisingly good Game Boy game. That's neither here nor there, but I'm going to be going over the PlayStation 1 Super Sponge. It's the one that I played and that a lot of people have played, but a lot of people played both the Game Boy and the PS1, but they're very synonymous with each other. They're not too different. Does anybody remember this game? Before we get into it though, I just want to say the game is okay. It can be frustrating at times. Super short game. It was back in the days of where you could play the game and not worry about saving the game if you didn't have a memory card, because you could usually play and beat it in one solid playthrough. But overall, the experience that you get from the game is second to none. This game was before the other games such as Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, which a lot of people think that was the first SpongeBob game. It wasn't, it was Super Sponge. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman was a complete and total miss. And then very soon after you have Battle for Bikini Bottom, well-renowned, probably one of the best cartoon, TV show, video game adaptations, probably of all time. The rehydrated remaster of the game is actually surprisingly well done, in my opinion. But SpongeBob Super Sponge, it released, I want to say, like in the early 2000s, again, like right in the middle of Season 2, give or take, around about 2000, 2001. I think it was 2001. And it's a perfect SpongeBob game. It has the atmosphere of SpongeBob. They hit the nail on the head. The game opens up and the story it's so simple. It's such a SpongeBob-esque type of story. It's Patrick's birthday, and you want to get an amazing gift for Patrick. So SpongeBob has the idea to get Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's autograph for Patrick's birthday. Because of this, SpongeBob goes and talks to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, but they need a lot of tasks to be done before they give him an autograph. So you're sent on a journey to find tons of things for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Like a sandwich.
Well, I know that Mermaid Man might consider signing one for a superhero snack.
See nut butter, tomatoes, jelly.
And throughout the game is so simple. It's just a 2D platformer where you get from point A to point B. You just finish the levels. You collect spatulas along the way. If you collect enough spatulas, you are able to play the bonus stage, where if you collect everything in the bonus stage, you're able to buy goodies that'll be shown in the final cutscene at Patrick's birthday party, which is pretty cool. It's such a small game. It's a really just a nice little experience, and not a lot of people remember Super Sponge, or people that are familiar with the OG season 1 through 3 of SpongeBob. Y'all probably know about the game, but people that have no idea about it, I'm telling you, it's about one of the best experiences of a SpongeBob game that you can get, apart from it being kind of frustrating. The whole game is a 2D platformer, but apart from it being frustrating, it is a phenomenal experience. And to kind of give like a breakdown of what the game offers, there's only 5 short chapters in the entire game. There's like 20 levels, so I mean, the game, you can beat the game in like under 2 hours. But the first chapter of the game, you have to find ingredients to a sandwich, the perfect sandwich for Mermaid Man. Super iconic levels. You go through the city of Bikini Bottom. You're in Sandy's tree dome. And it's the only water level in the game. It's a water level, but it's not. You have your water helmet. It's essentially a dry level. And then you go through the city of Bikini Bottom, and then you fight the boss, which is a jellyfish.
Back already? That is definitely a sandwich fit for a superhero. Gonna need to think of something to test your superhero potential. And keep busy. Look, MM is not in great superhero condition at the moment, and he could really do with some pampering.
Then you have the second world, or the second chapter, and you have to find, like, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's possessions, such as, like, hair cream and other stuff. And this one's kind of odd. You're kind of in, like, caves. You have to feed Gary. There's a lava world as well. You have to use bubbles to jump on stuff. But yeah, chapter 2 is like the cave section for some reason. And the boss in the second chapter is a weird robot fish. It's a weird 3D looking robot fish. There's that. And then in chapter 3, you go back in time. In the prehistoric section, you enter a whale. And you have to fight a tapeworm as the boss of that chapter, which surprisingly looks like that one creature from Rock Bottom.
Maybe we should wait for one more.
I still can't read the sign!
And then speaking of Rock Bottom, in chapter 4, you actually go to Rock Bottom to find a candy bar.
Look, kid, you're beginning to bug me now. One of my favorite kelp bars would be great.
I'm on my way!
You have to get coins to get a candy bar. of makes sense. You fight the Flying Dutchman in Chapter 4, and it's the Flying Dutchman.
I am going to steal your soul. Bet your lily white livers I am the Flying Dutchman.
That's the boss in Chapter 4.
Thanks, kid. Look, kid, Eminem has had a turn. The TV is broken, and unless you get the right tools, he's gonna miss his favorite cartoon. Can you help?
Does a snail meow? You bet!
Because he is the TV repairman.
Here comes the TV repairman.
The last chapter has perhaps one of the best video game soundtrack pieces probably of all time. It's really good. It gets really good for no reason. At the end of the game, they give you one of the best soundtrack pieces. It starts off kind of slow because you go through like jellyfish fields again. You're like in an industrial zone type world. There's like oil rigs and such. You fight Man Ray as just a common enemy for some reason. It's not like the final boss. That would be cool, but no, it's just he's just a regular enemy. But then you get to like a factory, like an oil rig factory, and like the coolest track of all time starts playing. It's so good. It has no right. Let me just say this, the whole soundtrack of this game has no right being as good as it is. Composer did so much for this soundtrack, and it adds to the game. It makes it a SpongeBob game because of the atmosphere of the music. I talk about music a lot, I feel like, in some of my videos, but honestly, the soundtrack should not be this good. For some reason, this game has the best soundtrack. And then you're in a canning factory, which is odd for the last level of the entire game. Kind of makes you think. It's kind of, I don't know if that's like deeper meaning or something. And the final boss in Chapter 5 is a weird dog fish. You have to get the monkey wrench from him.
I got it! Ah!
Such a odd choice for a final boss, but okay, it is what it is. And after you get all these things, you repair the TV for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and then they give you the autograph, and then you go to Patrick's birthday party.
Happy birthday, Patrick, from all your friends in Bikini Bottom.
I thought I was born a long time ago in a hospital.
That's it. That's the whole game. So simple, but again, nostalgia overload. This might be the most nostalgic game for me, apart from something like, I don't know, Skull Monkeys would be like the next most nostalgic game of all time. I gotta make that a video. Anyways, if you guys do like this content, please subscribe. Like 99% of people that watch are not subscribed. But if you do like the content, I make more of this type of stuff, so subscribe if you like. Until next time. Whatever.